I've done it again, haven't I? I said I wasn't going to buy any more lawnmowers, but here I have another Honda IZY. The person I bought this lawnmower from said they got the lawnmower out this year, ready to do the first cut of the season. They put fresh petrol in it and they just couldn't get it started. And instead of trying to repair it themselves, they thought, you know what, we'll just buy a new lawnmower, throw the old one away, as you do. That's the throwaway society we live in, unfortunately. Instead of trying to fix something, they'll just throw it away and get themselves a new one. It's the same with relationships, it's the same with lawnmowers, it's the same with pretty much everything. So if you're the kind of person that would rather fix something than just throw it away, then you're in the right place. They said it was running fine last year, they've stored it over the winter, they've got it out and they can't get it started. 9 out of 10 times, if that's the case, then you'll have a blocked up carburetor. And what's happened is the fuel that's been left in it over the winter time has gummed up and turned into a varnishy sort of substance, which blocks up the jets on your carb, and then the fuel can't get into the combustion chamber to ignite, so your engine won't run. It has got another little issue here. You can see the recoil mechanism is locked up a little bit, so we'll have to try and free that off. There we go. It's a false economy to keep buying new lawnmowers every time you have a problem. And most of the time it's a very simple repair. These engines are well made, they're reliable if they're looked after, and I will show you how to fix this problem and how to avoid it ever happening again. First up, I'm just going to check the general condition of this lawnmower. So let's look at the oil. Look how clean that oil is. It's had light use and there's enough in there. The wheels are in very good condition. They've still got lots of tread on the wheels. Again, it's had light use. It's a 2016 model. When I pull the starter recoil, I can feel there's good compression there. But the recoil mechanism gets caught up there. The 3 nuts on top. 1, 2, 3. Take that off, and then I'm going to lubricate inside here, in there, all around there. See, it gets caught up there. Not anymore. That can go back on. I won't even try and start this lawnmower. I'll take the previous owner's word for it that it doesn't run, because if I put fresh fuel in it, it just means I'm going to have to drain it out. It's a waste of petrol because I won't want to reuse that once I've put it in this contaminated tank. So I'm going to start off by giving it a thorough clean. I will be selling this on once I'm done, so it needs to look presentable. As it was such a glorious day, I thought I'd work on this one out in the garden. I'm going to show you how to remove the carburetor now and give it a good clean. So take the filter cover off, that's your air filter there, and there are 2 10mm bolts holding the carburetor to the engine. So remove those bolts, and then you can disconnect the crankcase breather pipe from the filter housing. We can then disconnect the fuel line, just get some long nose pliers or some pliers, remove that little metal clip which holds it to the carburetor. Give it a little wiggle to break the seal. You might need to get a screwdriver in there just to separate it. Put your gaskets to one side, and then I'm just going to put this in a pot to catch any excess fuel so it doesn't spill everywhere. This particular engine has an auto choke, and that's this black piece at the back, so we can remove that assembly and just put it to one side. It's sandwiched between the carburetor and the engine. Then we can take our pliers and remove the governor spring, which goes in that hole at the back of the carb there, and then the governor arm linkage, which goes in that hole. With the carburetor removed from the engine, we can now go about giving it a thorough clean. So I start by just giving the auto choke assembly a bit of a clean up, and just make sure that the spring's working properly and it's not seized. I then move on to cleaning the carburetor body itself. It's really important to get rid of all of the dirt from the outside of the carb before you open it up, because you don't want to transfer that dirt to the inside of your carb. When it comes to fuel systems, cleanliness is next to godliness. If you're wondering what I'm using to clean this, it is a specific carburetor cleaner, and I'll put a link to this product and any other tools and bits and pieces you might need for this job in the description below. If you buy it through the links, you'll also be supporting the channel, so thank you very much if you buy it through the links. So with the outside of the carb clean, I then remove the bolt on the bottom of the float bowl. You can see just how dirty the inside of this carb's going to be. And if we take the bowl off the bottom of the carb, wow, would you look at that? It's no wonder this engine doesn't run. We're now going to dismantle this carburetor, so I start by removing the pin which holds the float on. Keep all your components safe, you don't want to lose any of these. We can then remove the float and needle valve assembly, so take the float off and our needle valve just dropped in there, so put that safely to one side. We can now remove the main jet, however I couldn't actually see where the screwdriver slots in because it's so blocked up. So I just got some carb spray and sprayed that in the end, and then with a little brush I just tried to remove some of the dirt in there so I could actually see where the screwdriver would slot in. There we go, we can actually see some brass in there now. I then get a flathead screwdriver, make sure it's seated in there nicely, and then you can unscrew the main jet. Be really careful because it's only made of brass, you don't want to damage it. So like I say, make sure the screwdriver fits in there perfectly, and then there's less chance of stripping the head on the main jet. With the main jet loose, it might need a little bit of gentle persuasion to get it out of the hole. So just tap it with your screwdriver, and then you can see the main jet will just come out like that. Let's put that to one side, we'll clean that in a minute, but let's concentrate on the carb body itself. Get some carb cleaner and a small wire brush and just scrub off that varnish like substance. It may take a little while to get it spotless, but it's worth doing properly now because you don't want to put this back together and leave a little bit of that varnish in there because it will just block the main jet up straight away. Every component in this carburetor needs to be spotless, so once you've cleaned a bit, just put it to one side so that you don't recontaminate it with dirty carb cleaner. And the main jet is most important. It's got a small hole which runs through it, so that needs to be clear. I start off by scrubbing off any dirt on the outside of the main jet, and then I get myself a needle, a sewing needle. You're gonna damage it! No, I'm not actually. I've been doing this quite a while and I have never damaged one. So I get the sewing needle and just poke it through to make sure the hole's clear, and then use a little bit of carb spray just to clean it up. This carb is particularly dirty, and so I had to get the needle and just make sure all the last little bits of dirt out of the main jet, because even if you leave a little tiny bit in there, when the fuel starts flowing through, it will get caught up in that hole and block it up. So make sure you get rid of every last little piece of dirt. I can't stress that enough. And now you can clearly see that hole through both sides of the main jet. The float cleaned up well. Fortunately, that varnish substance didn't stick so well to the plastic. And then I cleaned the needle valve as well, put that to one side. The next step is to remove the emulsion tube. So inside the carb there is another brass tube which sits behind the main jet, and we can just pop that out. It's a little bit tricky to get out sometimes, so I've used this pick tool to get it out. It works quite well. Again, link in the description if you need to get one. Once you've popped it out, you can just give it a tap and it should fall out of the carb. There it is. Same process with this one. Thoroughly clean it using a little wire brush, and the needle is perfect for getting in these little holes and just making sure that they're clear. Get your carb spray and spray that through. And don't forget to clean the main body of the carb out thoroughly as well. So get some little brushes like this and just make sure all the holes in the carb are clear. Spray it down, spray up in there, spray in there. Just spray anywhere there's a little hole. Make sure it's all clear, make sure it's all clean. You get the idea. With all our components thoroughly clean, it's time to rebuild this carb. So let's take our emulsion tube. It goes this way around and we're going to put that inside the carb first. I get my pick tool just to make sure that it's seated in there nicely, and it goes all the way home. In this light it's easier to see the brass piece sticking out inside the carb there. That's the end of the emulsion tube. We then get our main jet and we can screw that back in. being very careful not to cross thread it. It's made out of brass going into an aluminium body, so they're both very soft metals and it's easy to strip the threads. So once the main jet stops, just give it a little nip, and you don't have to go too tight because it will just strip the threads, like I say. Get your float and needle valve. The needle valve slides into the float like this, and then your float and needle valve assembly just slots into the carburetor in this hole here. Put the pin back through, and that secures the float to the carburetor. Make sure the pin's centralised, and then you can get your nice clean float bowl and fit it to the bottom of the carb. Before we refit our clean carburetor, let's make sure that the fuel tank's clean. Oh, definitely not, that needs to be flushed out. So let's take off the starter recoil again, the 3 nuts on top, and then we can remove the fuel tank. I disconnect the fuel line just before the tap and drain off any last bit of fuel in the tank. Just be careful if you've got a full tank that you don't spill it everywhere. I then use some clean petrol to flush out the tank and get rid of any contaminants. Lovely, that should be much better now, so let's refit it. I put a drop more fuel in the tank just to flush through the last pipe that goes to the carburetor, and once I'd flushed that through, I was happy it was all clean and I could now fit my carburetor. I take my clean carburetor and put the governor arm linkage through the hole in the top, and then the governor spring goes through the small hole next to it. Reconnect the fuel pipe. We get the choke mechanism, and that has to line up in there. That sandwiches in between the carburetor and the engine. And before we forget, let's just move that little hose clamp along to secure it to the carb. This gasket only goes one way up, just make sure the holes line up. And this is where it can get a little bit fiddly. So I start by putting my bolts through the filter housing, through the gasket, and then I carefully feed my bolts through the carburetor, through the choke mechanism, and then into the engine. But before you go too far, don't forget to reconnect the crankcase breather pipe onto the filter housing. And when you tighten the bolts up, don't go mad. The engine's made out of aluminium and it's very easy to strip threads. So just a quick nip up and that'll do. It might also be time to treat your lawnmower to a new air filter. So let's put that one on. Oh, look at that. And then you can refit the filter cover. Job done. Let's see if this actually worked.
This is the first time trying to start it, and I bet you it starts first time.
As promised, I'm now going to show you exactly how you can avoid this ever happening again. So before you store your lawnmower for the winter, turn the fuel tap off, start your lawnmower up and allow that last little bit of fuel in the carburetor to burn off. It may take a few minutes, so just give it a little bit of time. Be patient because it's much quicker doing this than it is to strip your carburetor apart every year. Now that last little bit of fuel's burnt out of the carburetor, we just want to drain the float bowl. So get a 10mm spanner, loosen the bolt off on the bottom of the carb and allow the last little bit of fuel to drain out of the carburetor. And then that way when you store this over the winter, there's no fuel in there so it won't go varnishy and block your carb jets up. Once you're happy the fuel's drained out, tighten the bolt back up, and then you're going to want to look at either draining the tank out, like I showed you earlier, just disconnect the pipe and drain it into a bowl. Alternatively, you could look at using a fuel stabilizer like this one here, and that just preserves the life of the fuel so you can store it over the winter time. As always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and if you click the alarm bell, set notifications to all, you'll be notified when I post new videos. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, take care.